Hello and welcome to a great episode, number 78, with the extremely talented Kal The Guitar Hero. He actually is in a Phoenix band called the Color 8, which I met from one of my nephews actually turned me on to, and I can't stop listening to some of their stuff. How you doing, Kal?
I'm doing great, man. Just out here in Arizona, trying not to melt.
Oh, yeah, it's a little too much, man. It's not even worth it sometimes, you know?
Yeah, it's super spicy out here for sure.
Yeah, and I have to say that YouTube short you put out today was pretty funny, too. I can relate to that.
About the heat out here.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I was hot, and I was like, you know what, the least I can do is make fun of the heat out here.
Yeah, embrace it. So, kind of jumping in it with you, I know you're primarily a guitar player, but your band Phoenix Color 8, I apologize, has been in Phoenix for around, 6-7 years now?
Yeah, yep, just about 6-7 years.
And were you always a guitar player in this band, or were you kind of, I know you're a multi-instrumentalist, but did you start as guitar and stick with it?
Yeah, I've pretty much been guitar since the beginning, and as we progressed as a band, I've got on the mic a little bit more. Not singing or nothing, just kind of just yelling at the audience and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I've barely just been on the guitar.
So was this kind of more of like a jam band to start with, or was this something that was kind of a master thought at first? So you pieced it together. How did it start for you?
I remember, so I had just finished college. I finished college, and I've been playing guitar since like 8th grade, and throughout those years I was exposed to a bunch of different types of genres, and I learned those different types of genres because, like with every genre there comes specific techniques that you need to learn to play those genres. And I learned everything from like techniques for metal and rock. I learned techniques for classical guitar. I learned techniques for R&B and jazz in college. So I learned a mix of everything. So I was like, man, I want to play in a band. And I was like, I didn't want to just play in a band and get mixed in a box.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you start a band, like, okay, I'm going to be in a rock band. Okay, you're in a rock band. But let's say you like playing, I don't know, reggae or something. Well, you can't play. Nope, your rock band's going to be like, nope, we're a rock band. You can't play that here. So then what happens, what do artists do? They make a side project, and then they start a reggae side project, play reggae. But maybe they like hip-hop. Oh, they can't do that there, so they got to start another side project. I know artists that just have so many side projects. And me, I'm a minimalist. I don't want to have a bunch of practices and a bunch of all this stuff. So I came up with the idea. I was like, I'm going to start a band where we just play any genre and every genre. So I initially came up with that and hit people up that I knew.
Well, we know what happens when people start side projects. It takes away from the main project, and you kind of lose that focus, and everything just kind of becomes 20% here, 20% there, and it really just amounts to nothing. You know what I mean? I know musicians like that too, and I'm like, dude, you just got to focus on one project and get really good with it.
Exactly. That's how I feel the same way.
So, what were these guys you grew up with, or was it kind of like after you left college, you kind of were meeting people on the scene?
Yeah, it was kind of people I met throughout college. Like my drummer, I met him after school. We went to the same school, and he was in the jazz drums ensemble.
And he's fantastic, by the way. Like, listening to some of your videos, he's got some great chops in there.
Yeah, he kills it. He grew up in church, so he has like those gospel church chops.
Yeah, and he also sings while he plays too, right?
Yep. And that's something, as we progressed as a band, we just started taking on those roles.
Yeah. So was he the first one to kind of join the band with you?
Essentially, yeah, he was one of the core founding members. I hit him. I hit a couple other people. Like when we started the band, it was kind of like 6-7 piece, and like I just got as many people as I could together and be like, hey, let's play. We had a rapper, we had a singer, we had drums, we had some people. We had a guy playing keys. We had all this stuff, and we all met up. And the first day we met up, we made like 3 songs. I was like, oh, this is dope. I never had chemistry like this. Like, we made like 3 songs from scratch.
Yeah, that's badass.
Yeah. So I really like that. So like we were like, let's keep this going. Let's play somewhere. So like and here in Arizona, they have this thing called First Friday, which is like an art walk they do every month downtown. And it's just like free, and people can walk around. You can just set up anywhere and just play. There's a lot of foot traffic. I was like, let's just play there next month. We went there, played. And it was real dope. We had a really good response from all the people there, and like bigger than we thought. And we like just kept it going, kept playing our first Friday every month. It really helped. I think that really helped get our name up because like, you know, it was free and just like hundreds of people were just down there every month. So it just like, we just went out really quick. And as that happened, we started losing members that weren't serious. Some people were just like, oh, I'm just here to jam and stuff.
Yeah.
And when we wanted to be more serious, we started losing people. That's when we started adding some different roles to each other. Like, you know, we lost like a couple of vocalists and the keys. So when we lost the vocalist, we didn't think like, oh, let's just get another vocalist, because we already felt like we were a tight group. We were like, I was like, fuck it, Emmett, you can sing, you know, you can sing, right? Just start singing and drumming, just practicing. He got better at it. First, he was like, nah, I just want to drum.
Yeah.
But he's really good at singing, and he started practicing it. Now he's really good at drumming and singing, and
he's excellent.
You know, yeah, some parts we needed like a hype man and stuff, and I was like, I'll do it. I like to yell, so I kind of do hype stuff while I'm playing the guitar, and I do verses, and I do hooks, most of our hooks and stuff now.
Yeah, and I noticed you guys have a lot of high energy too. So, I mean, is that something you guys have to kind of pump yourself up for shows, or just come naturally for you guys?
Man, no, it just comes naturally. Like, we're just we got a bunch of energy all the time. Like we do a show straight sober. We just crazy like that. But I remember we did a show when we all took shots, a couple shots before, and that show that felt like that was one of the best shows we ever had. It felt like that was the best we ever played. But maybe it wasn't because I was drunk and it just sounded good when I was drunk.
Yeah, I could go both ways on that one.
Yeah.
So,
but not.
I like the name a lot. How did that come about? The Color 8.
So that comes back to like when I was coming up with the idea, like I wanted a band where we play every genre, and I was thinking, what should the name be? And first thing I was thinking, I don't want the name to give away what we do. Because a lot of times, if you hear a band and they're called Metal This, Infinite Death Murder Baby Killer, like, you know it's a metal band. If you hear Little Wang, Little Baby, Little something, you know, okay, it's like rap or something. So I was like, what would be a name that would just not put us in a box? And I was like, started thinking of what do you call it? Opposites, like oxymorons, like hot, cold.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. And I started thinking color. I was like, color 10. I was like, number blue. And I was like, just thinking of random stuff. And I ended up just sticking with a color and a number. So I was like, color. At first I was like, color 9. And I was like, wait, let me look up what the numbers mean and shit. Because I know all the numbers have different meanings. And I looked up 8. And 8 represented like new beginnings and like baptism and something brand new. And I was like, I like that. So I stuck with the 8. So the name ended up representing the 8 represents that, you know, we're always trying to do new stuff when we play live shows. And it's also an 8, it's also an infinity sign, which means we're always growing and changing. And the color represents the different things and there are to try out there in the world. So that's what we try to do, and that's what we try to promote our audience to try new stuff.
That's perfect. That's why it's just so easy to remember. You know, like that.
Yeah,
that's one of those names that, I like hear that name, I'm like, that's perfect, man. So was that name kind of picked out already, or how long were you guys playing together before, you know, you started writing your first album?
With the name, not like when I came up with the name. That was before we were even. Oh, gotcha. You know, before I even hit everybody up. So I came up with the name, and then got it together, and then we played like two of those first Fridays. You know, they were once a month, so we did. This is 2 months after we started the group, and at the second one, we had a tip jar, and people were giving us dope tips, like $20, like, you know, $50. It was really dope. It was dope. It was a good feeling that people felt that, you know, encouraged to give us that much money. And in the tip jar, someone put a Battle of the Bands flyer in our thing. We're like, hey, let's do this. And we go and do it, and it's like at this like, it's like kind of like hipster church. It was like a warehouse turned into a church. It was like some people from Portland. They're really cool. They came down, like caravan down from Portland to Arizona and started a church. And it was like, had like a half pipe in there and like basketball court. It was like super chill. And like the pastor was like, he wanted this Battle of the Bands to like let people know about to promote their church. But also he used to be a recording engineer. So he had a whole studio in there, and he would record the church's original gospel music. And whoever run the Battle of the Band would get a free recording.
Oh, nice.
So, so that was the prize. So we went, we played, and we actually won. And then we ended up getting like two or three songs recorded by him. And that was like our first initial like thing we put out.
Yeah. What's the name of that EP?
So actually, that one was just self-titled, The Color 8, and we never put it out on streaming. We just made CDs and sold them.
Oh, nice.
So that's exclusive. Like, if somebody has that, they were around in the beginning.
So I know you mentioned with your guitar playing, you were kind of all over with styles, but when I listen to your stuff, I hear everything from Jimi Hendrix to Eddie Van Halen to R&B. What were your big ones growing up? I know you mentioned you started playing when you were in 8th grade, but what were the biggest influences you starting there?
I think starting off, one of the big influences, like I started off like rock, classic rock metal, and so I was just learning, just more rhythm guitar stuff, just chugging and the more rhythmic stuff. But what got me into wanting to do more lead was Joe Satriani.
Yes.
I really liked his style of playing, and I like how the pretty notes that he would use and made it sound really, really dope, but still shredded at the same time. So Joe Satriani was a big part of me wanting to do more lead guitar. And yeah, of course, Jimi Hendrix, like I love how he played real beautiful, clean chords and double stops. And he would kind of play everywhere too. He'd have a more upbeat rock song, or he'd have a more slow ballad, or he'd have he'd have blues songs,
Well, this is off subject, but have you ever seen that video of him playing Hey Joe acoustic?
Yes, and he's like super shy, and
that was a little weird. That was like, it was cool to see it, but it kind of threw me off seeing that a little bit, because it showed like the rawness of his talent, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, don't waste." He's like, "I don't want you to waste all the film. Don't waste all the film." Like, yeah, he was a real humble dude. It was cool to see that, and he was just playing and that was just raw talent, like that he could just do that and just sound that good. It was really dope. It was really real inspiring for me. So.
Now, you mentioned Satriani as well, too. I know he plays kind of the RG style SG stuff. Is that kind of what influenced your pick of Ibanez as well?
Yeah, kind of. It was that, and I was really drawn to Ibanez because I felt like they're good. They're versatile for multiple styles. Like, I feel like certain guitars, like Schecter, like that's mainly for metal, and Fenders, I mean, even though you can set them up for anything, but Fenders are kind of more set up for like, more clean blues playing. Yeah. I wanted a guitar I could kind of do both on, and I felt like the Ibanez that one just felt right with me.
Now, I know you have a very versatile sound, but are you more of a pedal guy or a rack unit kind of guy, especially live or in the studio?
You said pedal or what?
When you play live, do you rely more on a pedal board, or you kind of go through rack units when you play live?
Oh, so when I started in high school and stuff, when I was playing, I had digital boards because it was just easier for me. I was a dumb little kid and I didn't know how to get a bunch of pedals. I couldn't get a bunch of pedals, so I would just get a multi-board.
Yeah.
Had a little multi-board, line 6, and I would just use that and just use the presets. And then when I first started Color 8, I started using analog pedal boards and half stack. I had like a half stack Valve King. It had a lot of real heavy tone in it, and I would just run like overdrive, real simple. I had a real simple board. I had a compressor pedal, overdrive, and reverb. That was in a wall pedal, like really simple. And I used that for a bit, and I just recently transferred back over to digital, and I got a Line 6 HX Stomp, and that thing is just so convenient.
Oh, those sound great. I'm not really a guitar player myself, but I'm around it, and the people are kind of getting really attached to those recently.
Yeah, I like those. You can just download other sounds. People can create other sounds. They can model certain amps specifically and throw them. You just throw them in there, and boom, you have it. I don't have to tinker around. I'm not really a big gear guy. Some people love tinkering around with the tones and mess around. Like, I just want a good tone. So if I can find a preset that sounds dope, boom, I ain't gonna mess with it at all.
So as I've been researching your band recently, I noticed you have a really cool YouTube channel as well too, and I noticed, and it it's versatile like you were mentioning, but how do you feel like that the importance of creating content in today's world and it being in the band? How often do you think you should do it, and how really important is it to everyone now?
Man, I think it's real crucial. Like, social media for musicians now, like nowadays, I feel like if you're a musician and you don't have social media, like, what are you doing? Like, it's such an easy way to get out there and just like have millions of people see you all across the country. Like, when we look at our demographics, we got people in countries we never been in. And I think that's a real beautiful thing where you can have followers in a place you've never even been, you know, like, but traditionally you would have to tour. You have to tour those places and they have to hear you. And that was the old fashioned way. So I think social media is, really impactful, because you can put one video out and it can go, you know, it can go viral and you can have millions of followers all of a sudden. And now all your music, and that's gonna, if you have a good catalog of making content, that's a crucial thing. You never know when you might go viral. So if you're just making content consistently, and that one video hits and goes viral, then all your other stuff's gonna go viral, because they want to see more of you. They want to be like, oh, what else you got? And they see all your stuff. They see all your music. They see all your videos. And then it just brings everything up. So it just makes sense to make consistent videos. I always tell people consistency is key for shows, for online, like consistency. More opportunities you give yourself to be seen by people, the better.
Yeah. So do you happen to like schedule yourself with it too, or you just let it come to you and you try to make like a deadline with it?
There was a time I did challenge myself. I was like, I'm gonna make one video every day. So I would just usually do it in the morning before I had to do anything else. I'd knock it out. And I did that. But before originally when I started doing it, I just did it because, like, you know, the way I like to get better at playing guitar is to learn a song I like. So I just learn a song, you know, learn it from top to bottom, learn the rhythm section, learn the lead section. And then I'm so proud of it. I'm just like, man, I want to record this and just kind of have a memory of it. And, you know, and I want to share it with other people. So I'll record it and get to look back at it and I was like, this is dope. And then I just reposted them just so people could see it. And then people really started liking them. And I started doing more. But originally it's just, most of the times I just hear a song, I'm like, oh, that's dope, I want to play that. Or even if it's a song with no guitar, and I'm like, well, I could hear guitar on that. And I just want to make a video off of it. So usually that's how it is. I try not to force it. I try not to just, I know some people don't only do stuff that's trending. Like, oh, this song's trending, I'm going to try to play to it because they hope it's going to go viral, blah, blah, blah. I'm not that focused on, like, things going viral. If that happens, dope. But I don't like just making content to just try to go viral. That shit's kind of lame.
Yeah, because you kind of corner yourself pretty bad. I mean, but I see people drive themselves insane just trying to make videos and make videos, and obviously it just slides in quality. But the way you're doing it, I think is right. I mean, just constant consistency is everything.
Thank you. Yeah.
I notice you're also a gamer too. That's a big thing for me as well. Your live streams, I highly recommend it. What's in it? Your YouTube channel is Kal The Guitar Hero as well too, right?
Yeah, I try to make everything the same.
Yeah. So yeah, that's also a good element to bring in it too, because the interaction of it. But I kind of wanted to change gears again on you. What are you guys working on as a band? Are you guys working on a new album right now, or are you playing a tour of any sorts?
Well, yeah, actually, we just found like a really dope studio with a dope producer / engineer, and he's making us sound so full and so like production, like high production quality. And he adds in little like crazy little effects and transitions that we wouldn't think of as just musicians, and it's really dope. That's what we're working on right now. We're working on putting out a single of this new sound. Like all the other stuff we put out with other engineers was great, but it just sounded more like a live recording of us. It didn't sound like a high quality studio recording of us.
When do you think this album you guys are working on is going to release?
So we're gonna put a song out before the summer ends. Definitely, like July or August. We're gonna put out a single of this new stuff. But album life, we're not sure because we've only recorded like 2 songs with them so far. But we want to keep working with them. So, we do have plans actually. I don't know if it's too early to say now, but we already talked to this band, so I think it's fair to talk about it since they said they're already getting it set in stone. So
nice.
There's this dope instrumental band called Strawberry Girls, and they're shred. You know, they just shred. They're very technical, like kind of math rock band, and we've toured. We've done like we've played shows with them in California and Texas, and they're really dope. And they recently was in Phoenix a couple weeks ago, and we saw them perform. And they're like, "Hey, we got to do another tour with you guys. You know, we're booking a tour for November, and we want you guys to be on it." And we were like, yeah. We're like, heck yeah.
Nice.
Like, all right, we'll have our booking guy talk to your booking guy. So that's pretty much set in stone. So that's what we're looking forward to. We're going to do a solid, probably month-long tour in November.
Nice. And then in the meantime, do you guys have like a local shows booked, or are you kind of taking a break from that while doing the recording?
Yeah, actually right now, yeah, we have July 24th. We're playing at Valley Bar.
Oh, nice.
July 24th. Yep. So I think that's our next show. I mean, we might get some more before then, but typically you know, that's the next one. Because sometimes we get booked for last minute. They'll hit us up a week ahead. Be like, hey, you want to play this show? Someone dropped out. So we might get some before that. But the ones that are on the calendar, July 24th, Valley Bar.
Now, as a band, how often do you guys like to do shows for consistency? Do you like to follow the 2-week formula or the once-a-month formula, especially here in Phoenix?
Man, at one point we were doing shows every weekend. That was kind of our thing. Like,
yeah,
we were doing those first Fridays every month, and then we were filling up the rest of the month with shows every weekend. You know, like that's what we were before COVID and stuff. We were hitting the show every weekend. So now it's kind of, we've slowly been working back up to that as things have opened up. But now we just book. We try not to. When we first started off, I said consistency is key, and we said yes to every show we got offered. Yes. Oh, you want to do this? Okay, yeah. You guys want us to play? Okay, yeah.
Nice.
But it just gave us a way to put ourselves out there more and get opportunities, learn what shows we do like to do, learn what shows we don't like to do, and yeah. So now that we've got that experience and we played a bunch of shows in the beginning of our years, now we can turn down shows that we're like, no, we've done something like this before. We don't want to do this, or we're a little more not really picky on our shows now, but we're just more conscious of shows that we pick now.
Well, it is time, resource, and energy. It takes a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether it's a recovery day after or just a day prepping for it, it does take a lot out of you.
Yeah, exactly. So
now
we've been doing them every couple of weeks.
So I noticed you play drums as well, which you're pretty good. I was watching some of your covers. Does that help bring ideas to the songwriting? Because most guitar players will literally like, I'm out of drum part to me, and I'll be like, "What?" You know what I mean? But do you feel like being able to get behind a kit and kind of actually play it helps the songwriting process?
I think to a degree, definitely, because I've never been like officially trained on the drum kit, but I just was like you. I'm around it. I was around it so much, I just kind of picked stuff up and figured out how to play. And like I hear things that I liked, and I tried to mimic it and stuff. And I'll try to suggest stuff, because especially, obviously I listen to a lot of music. So sometimes we'll write something, I'll hear something for the drums. I'll be like, I'll tell my drummer, hey, can you do this thing where it's like, this type of transition? And the cool thing is either he'll be like, yeah, or he'll be like, nah. He's like, nah, I'm not doing that. Or he'll be like, yeah. He'll be like, okay. And then he'll kind of do it, but in his own way, which that's how it should be. It should be us feeding off of each other. So usually it's kind of cool because like when I go back to like our backgrounds, like I started off rock. Our drummer, he was more gospel church drummer. So when I start playing like a rock metal riff, and I'm like, all right, here, play drums to this. He's not going to think of a traditional rock beat or metal, what a rock or metal drummer would think of. Yeah. He's thinking of what a gospel drummer thinks a rock beat would sound like. So it ends up coming out as this cool, unique sound because it's just not like, all right, I'm playing this metal riff. A metal guy's going to play, all right, he's going to play a straight up metal riff. And he doesn't do that. He'll play a kind of what he thinks a metal riff might sound like on the drums. And it comes up with a cool, unique sound. So I kind of like that we all come from different backgrounds, so we expose each other to different music. And
that's cool. And you could definitely hear it in too, because you're right. When a metal drummer gets behind a kit, it comes very cookie cutter when I hear a metal riff, So I definitely applaud that. Yeah, that's really cool stuff, that the way you guys are doing it too. I think that's what people need more of in groups and bands like that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times, especially in the metal scene, I feel like a lot of times, like one person in the band will write all the music and they'll just bring it to everybody. I mean, if that works, I know that works for certain groups and that's cool. But like sometimes I feel like it takes away from everybody else's creativity. I don't want to just somebody come in and be like, here's the songs, just learn them.
Mm-hmm. Now, since we're on the subject, we're just on the subject of touring. If you could put like your dream tour together, working together now, what would it be and where would you go?
You said the dream tour, our dream tour?
Yeah.
Man, shoot. Honestly, probably with Rage Against the Machines. I feel like us playing with Rage Against the Machines, that would be a dope energy. I feel like their crowd would love us. I think that would be a dope tour. And like somewhere overseas, like Japan. I've never been to Japan, so I feel like I feel like Japan would love our music.
Yeah, they're going through a very 80s metal scene right now too. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, they yeah.
They're going through like
crazy.
A shred scene right now, and it's like, wow, that's actually, I kind of wish that'd come back in a way.
Yeah, I know. It's cool to see how different trends pop up in different countries at different times. So that would be dream tour for me.
Now, obviously, I'm gonna help spread the word with the band because I really dig what you guys are doing. What would be the best way to reach out to you guys for shows, promotions, the best sites?
The best way to hit us would be to email us, or I mean, you can even DM us on Instagram. But probably we'd probably take you more serious if you email us at our email, thecolor8band at gmail, and that's the color the number 8, not spelled out 8, and then band at gmail.
Nice. And I'm assuming all the stuff's on Spotify as well.
Yep. Yep. On Spotify, you just look up The Color 8, not with band. We're just The Color 8, and you'll find us there. You find us on Apple Music. You find us on YouTube. You find us everywhere.
Now, if we want to support the band, is there any merch stores or anything we could check out for you guys?
Yes, we have a website. We have a website, thecolor8music.com. We have all our merch on there, and we have upcoming shows.
Nice. Now, before I let you go there, Kale, is there any shout-outs to any upcoming musicians you kind of want to give a shout-out to that have been helping you guys as well?
Man, yeah, it's been a bunch of people. It's been a bunch of people that's helped us out. I want to say shout out Sean, the guy that we're producing it right now. He's making us sound really great, and we appreciate it. It's helping us, our music and our confidence. Shout out to all of our fans. Shout out to all of our fans that come to the shows. Even when it's hot out here in Arizona, they still come out. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate, shout out to you for coming to interview us and spread the word about us. We appreciate that.
How can I not? You guys are awesome, man.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, that's it, man. Shout out to everybody who's just been helping us and continue to help us.
Well, yeah, Kel, I really want to thank you for coming on. I think, no doubt, good things are coming to you guys' way. I think if you just keep doing what you're doing, the porch is going to land around your guys' laps, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. We're going to, just be consistent. Like we said, I feel like that was the theme of this interview. Consistency is key. We're going to stay consistent. We're going to just keep putting music out there, keep doing shows, and just hope for the best.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Kale. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. You too. You have a good one.